Hello there.
I'm John.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Okay, the part of Braun is being played by John Curley.
My good friend Rich Vesey's over Major Blinds.
Major Blinds.
Major Blinds the other day.
Love the way he says blinds.
Major Blinds. You can come by your house, they have blinds, they got all sorts of different things. They'll spend some time with you. If you don't like what they're doing, you can say, hey, get out of my house. I want better samples. They'll have some samples, they'll have some blinds for you, they'll spend some time with you, they'll talk about different things for you. And that's the great thing about Rich Vesey, and the rest of the crew will come out there. They're good friends of mine. You'll have a good time with them. Rich will stop by, he'll pet your dog. And they got great people there. Just give them a call. Rich Vesey and the rest of the gang.
You know how much this just cost the station? Everything is monetized now. You can't do that anymore.
Is it really his good friend?
Well, if he's paying him, he's a good friend. I don't know. Sure he is.
My good friends.
I've heard nothing but good stuff about Rich Vesey. I think we're going to have him over for a barbecue this summer.
He'll be looking at your blinds, trying to upgrade you. Like, I would take your side and just say, yeah, this blinds you got. I don't know.
All right, that's John Curley. My name is Mike West, and we're filling in for Ron and Don for the next hour. And then some big rock and roll dudes come in. You've got Chris Novoselic, who used to be in, with the group. You know, come on.
The
Nirvana.
Right.
And Duff McKagan, who was in Guns N' Roses and now Velvet Revolver, I think, and who lives in Seattle. He's like one of 8 children. And quite a success story.
Wow,
he had his ups and downs, and I'm sure they're going to talk about that. But right now, today he looks good.
They're coming in. He's doing well.
One day at a time.
Whenever you talk about music and stuff, I always feel like Johnny Carson, just completely out of it. You know, you just start to.
These fellas. Have you guys heard of these new CDs?
They got the whole thing, the album.
Right there.
You can't scratch it. If you put it on there, it just spins around.
What is up with that internet?
What is that?
He never lived that long to do internet jokes. Poor Johnny Carson. God love him. All right, so you were talking about this when we were listening to the award-winning Tony Miner doing the news about United Airlines wanting to charge more for people who are overweight. They're going to charge you for 2 seats if you weigh over a certain amount.
Well, the seats have gotten smaller and the people have gotten bigger. What did the seats used to fit?
Let me find that out.
How many inches was a regular
that.
seat on there?
Okay, it says here the standard seat back in the day was 33 to 34 inches. Now it's more like 31 inches. So what's happening is while the seats are getting smaller, people are getting larger. Not because of the stuff they're serving on the plane. You get 1 peanut and a glass of juice, and that's about it these days. But do you think it's fair? Do you think they should charge people who are overweight more to fly on an airplane? They're charging for everything else now.
I am torn on this because I do know a lot of very Zoftic people that are quite flexible. So they can be big and large, but then they can make themselves really squishy.
Can they shrink themselves?
Well, they can push themselves over. They can get themselves over. And also, the people are very aware of body space. It's the large. I would rather see them charge more for smelly people.
There you go with the smelly people.
I'm sorry, I'm olfactory sensitive, and to me, that's far more annoying. I don't mind.
There are skinny, smelly people.
Now, I'm not saying fat smelly people. It has nothing to do with weight. It just has to do with smell. I think you should have a smell test. I'd rather sit next to a rather large person. You can kind of cuddle up, and your arm's got a nice soft spot to lean up against. Often they smell like baby powder. I like them. I'm just talking about generally, you should have a smell test on it as opposed. When you I have sat next to people so bad, and you just take your sweater off, and you wrap it around your face, and you're sitting there just huffing and puffing.